Hello learners, welcome back to the channel Economic Cities, and today we are going to do the revision, or you can say summary of price determination chapter from microeconomics very quickly. Okay, so we know the meaning of market demand, that is the total demand of a commodity by all the buyers. Okay, and we know very well that is the demand curve slopes downward. Then market supply is just as opposite of demand curve, that is it is the sum total of all the supplies of a commodity by all the producers, and it slopes upward. Market equilibrium means where the point at which the demand and supply of a market intersect. Okay, so that point becomes the you can say the point at which the equilibrium is there, the price. This is known as equilibrium price, and the point at this intersection of demand and supply is the equilibrium quantity. So equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity I have already explained. Now market equilibrium under perfect competition, as we know perfect competition is what? That is where the firm is a price taker and it earns only normal profit in the long run, and it assumes that both law of demand and supply operate. And equilibrium price is the price at which quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. Now we can see here, this is the situation of market equilibrium, right? Under perfect competition, excess demand and excess supply. When demand is more than supply, then it is known as the excess demand, and when supply exceeds the demand, then it is known as the excess supply. Okay, so the point at which both demand and supply intersect, that is at the point of what? Price at price 6, the market demand is 60 and supply is also 60. That means it is the equilibrium level. Okay, so now let's understand here excess demand. When refers to a situation when the quantity demanded is more than the quantity supplied. It means demand is more than the supply. Okay, and implication, it will lead to competition among buyers. Okay, and the buyers would ready to pay higher price. Because of that, the demand is more, and it results in inflation. Okay, and here with the rise in price, market demand will fall. Okay, so this situation will continue. I have already uploaded the detailed explanation, okay, in the previous videos also. You can go through that. Then excess supply is just a reverse situation of excess demand. Okay, where here when supply is more than the demand, okay, prevailing at the prevailing market price. Okay, so equilibrium is this where demand and supply intersect. Now due to of this that is the excess supply, the price also rises, right? And the situation is termed as excess supply, right? So market demand start rising because of law of demand, and market supply will decrease because of law of supply. Okay, so you can just see the previous videos also. Now price ceiling or maximum price ceiling, it is basically concerned with the price ceiling is related to the consumer. Okay, and here price floor is concerned with the you can say the producers, right? So price ceiling is what? That is the maximum price of a commodity at a level lower than the equilibrium price, or in other words, it's the maximum price which a seller can charge from a customer. It is basically for the essential commodities. Okay, so that each and every person can get that actual you can say the essential commodities. Okay, now we have the diagram here. Okay, and this is the shortage, or you can say the price ceiling is here. Okay, in detail you can just go through the videos. Consequences, black marketing. Okay, impacts इसका होता है price ceiling का, rationing system होता है, and dual price policy. Then price floor, again it is main basically, it is the minimum price above the equilibrium price fixed by the government. Both the prices are fixed by the government, but it is for the producer's point of view. Okay, जो government fix करती है producer को, मतलब क्या होता है, why the producer always just means you can say produce the goods. Main motive is to earn profit, right? So the price is fixed, is not remunerative for the producer's point of view. अगर government को लगता है कि नहीं मिल पा रहा है उसको इतना, then the government decide or fix the prices. Okay, so this is called the price floor. Okay, then here you have the example, then the explanation of the diagram, then buffer stock as a tool of price floor. Again, it's mentioned here, everything is mentioned. Now you can just take a look. Okay, the difference between the price ceiling and price floor. Okay, and then a recap of all the curves, that is demand curve, why demand curve shifts, okay, or supply curve. These are factors, and the various you can say the cases has been discussed when there is a change in demand, that is increase or decrease in demand. When there is an increase in demand, then rightward shift will happen. If there is a decrease in demand, then leftward shift will happen. Okay, and if there is change in supply, then increase in supply, that means rightward shift in supply curve, and decrease in supply, that is a leftward shift in supply curve. Now here what we have to keep in mind, that is change in demand, it will occur, but the supply will remain constant. Okay, and when change in supply will occur, here the demand curve will remain constant, right? Then change in both demand and supply, then how the changes affects the equilibrium price, right? This we need to study. Then special cases also when the supply is perfectly elastic, when the demand is perfectly elastic, then change in supply when it is perfectly inelastic, and change in demand when it is perfectly inelastic. So you can take the screenshot. I have already make a video on this, okay? And these are the diagrams. How you're going to explain it? You first need to consider that if there is a change in demand and supply will remains constant, that is increase in demand, that is the rightward shift, then equilibrium price rises and equilibrium quantity rises. When you're going to make the diagram now, then you can easily understand then कहाँ पे आप प्राइस कोट कर रहे हो, कहाँ पे अपने आप जब डायग्राम्स बनाते हैं ना तो उसमें ज्यादा समझ आता है. बट वन मोर थिंग हियर यू नीड टू जस्ट फोकस्ड कि पहले आपको इक्विलिब्रियम बना देंगे. इक्विलिब्रियम जहाँ पे डिमांड और सप्लाई, देखिए जो एक सिंपल लाइन है ना पेंसिल से खिंची हुई है, तो दैट इज द डिमांड एंड सप्लाई कर्व. ये जहाँ पे इंटरसेक्ट करेगी ये आपका ओरिजिनल और एक्चुअल इक्विलिब्रियम है. अब जो कंडीशन आपको दी जाएगी, इंक्रीज इन डिमांड है या डिक्रीज इन डिमांड है, वो कंडीशंस आपको बोली जाएंगी. तो आपको जब बनाएंगे आप डायग्राम, तब आपको पता चलेगा कि what is the change in the price or in quantity due to these factors. If this demand supply changes या दोनों में कुछ ज्यादा आ रहा है, डिफरेंसेस आ रहे हैं, तो एज पर द सिचुएशन आपको डायग्राम बनाना आना चाहिए, राइट? और आप हमेशा जब बताएंगे डिफरेंस चेंज जो आता है, जो आपको सिचुएशन दी जाती है, उसको आप डॉटेड लाइन से शो करेंगे, बट इक्विलिब्रियम पहले शो करेंगे, राइट? So these are the various cases we have already discussed in the previous videos. Please go through that. And if you have any problem, then you can just comment and ask me, okay? Yes, these are the various cases. And in the next video, we are going to start the numericals from statistics, okay? So don't miss that. And if you found this useful, do follow Economics at Ease. Let's make studies simple, far together, okay? Thank you.